minutes in the day of the Lord, and every minute has 60 seconds, and it's all about timing. We need to learn to be those who can discern, like the tribe of Issachar could discern the times. What time is it? When you know what time it is in the things of the Spirit, then you can cooperate with what God is doing. You can collaborate with what God is doing. And not only that, you can negotiate concerning what God is about to do or what he has already done. And that's one thing we need to learn from Abraham. Abraham negotiated with God over the fate of the city of Sodom in behalf of his nephew Lot. Jacob negotiated with God after he had the dream and he saw the angels of God ascending and descending on what we call Jacob's ladder. And it's the DNA strand, the Spirit of God ascending and descending upon us. When we see him overall, then we have to understand you're at a negotiating posture with God. Everything's negotiable. So Paul says, I'm confident of this very thing, Philippians 1:6, that he that hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Christ. So we're talking about the beginning anointing and the finishing anointing. He is the Alpha, he is the Omega. Some of you need to move in the Alpha anointing of God. Others need to discern and work with the Omega anointing, the finishing anointing. If you're trying to move in an Alpha principle in an Omega season, you're going to be frustrated because you're trying to get something started that God is finishing. I remember I pastored a church for a time. I had a vision for that church, and God spoke to me very clearly. And we burst in growth from 35 people to 350, and the outpouring was taking place. And at the height of all of those good things, God said, I didn't bring you here to establish this church. I brought you here to close it. And that was just, I'm like, I rebuke you, devil. But God had a purpose and God had a plan. He's something he was doing that he knew the end from the beginning, and his perspective was wider than mine. And so Paul says, I am confident of this thing. We need to be confident in the timings of God, that he that hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. What day are we talking about? Paul says, it's a small thing to me if I be judged of you. In fact, I don't even judge myself. But when the Lord comes, every man will be judged of God. And that word judge is not talking about the apocalyptic day of the Lord. It's talking about a jeweler taking an oculus and examining a stone, a diamond, a precious gem. Precious gems are formed by heat and pressure. And you're under the heat and pressure of life. And then Jesus shows up and brings you under the divine scrutiny of his oculus, as it were, his regard. And he brings the finishing anointing that he could set you as a diadem in his kingdom to accomplish his will and bring your destiny to pass in a moment of time. If this has blessed you today, I want to hear from you. My name is Russell Walden, Father's Heart Ministry. You can Google us and find us there. Subscribe to our daily prophetic word we send out every day. And if you'd like to chat with me personally, my email is russellwalden@gmail.com, russellwalden@gmail.com. If this word has vibrated a chord down in your spirit, I'd like to know it.